What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with a little bit of Overwatch commentary, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Season 5 placement matches and how those went for me, and we're also going to discuss a little bit of controversy that's going on over on the Overwatch Reddit and the Overwatch forums regarding how placements work this season and whether or not it's functioning as it should be and if it's treating players fairly. First, I'm going to start with my placements. I actually did pretty good this time compared to Season 4. I was actually not really looking forward to Season 5, especially after reading all of the initial opening thoughts on the forums about how people were placing 2 and 300 SR lower than they thought they should. And I just, really was not looking forward to really playing this season. Season 4 was kind of a mixed bag for me. For some reason, I've usually been about a mid-gold to high-gold player in competitive. I've been so close to breaking into platinum a few times, but playing through solo queue, it's been really difficult to break through and finally get into that platinum range. But that may be changing for me hopefully soon. I got kind of lucky in that I've actually found a few people to play the game with here in the last couple of days, and I've been playing a lot of quick play with some new friends on Overwatch, which has really been helping me out, but I'll get to that here in a minute. So Season 4, it actually dropped me all the way to 1,500 in my placements. I'm not sure why, because I was right around mid-gold most of Season 3, and then it dropped me into 1,500 silver to start off Season 4, which was really kind of weird. However, I did climb rather quickly, almost 500 SR. I got right up into the upper 1990 range, and for some odd reason, I just could not crack into gold in Season 4. I don't know what the problem was. Every time I would get close and get within win of getting to gold, I would always lose 2 to 3 games. So I don't know if I was pressing. I don't know if the system was just trying to force me into the 50% win mark, which seems to happen quite a bit in this game. I had about a 65 to 70% win percentage from the early parts of Season 4, and then all of a sudden it was like I just could not win a game, and it dropped me all the way down to like a 53% win ratio. So it just wasn't a lot of fun. I didn't have a lot of fun in Season 4. And I just kept getting so close to gold, and then it would kick me back down like 200 SR into the 1700s, and it just got really, really frustrating. So I actually took a very long break from the game, about 6 weeks. I did not play Overwatch for pretty much the last part of Season 4. I came back the last weekend and tried to see if I could break up into gold, because I was getting a little excited for the game again, and I managed to finish right around 1850. Which was okay. It wasn't great. I went on a really nice 6-game winning streak when I first came back in and thought, oh, this might be cool. I might be able to actually break into gold before the weekend's over. Then, of course, I lost 4 games in a row, and some of the teammates were just beyond god-awful. But anyway, so in the week, the off-season sort of span of time, I actually found a group of people to play with on Overwatch, and they are all mid to high platinum. Actually, one of them's in diamond and another's in master. And we have been playing 6-stack just about every night on quick play, and I've been practicing with them and kind of working with them a little bit. And I've been playing against a lot of other 6-stacks that are mid to high platinum, and really been working on a lot of my skills. And I was really surprised to find that I could hold my own playing at that level. And I've always thought all along that I was kind of a high gold. Maybe I should have been in platinum, but playing through solo queue is kind of tough, especially when I'm always mostly playing support, because no one else in solo queue ever wants to heal or play support. So I usually wind up taking those roles on for myself, because I like to be able to fill in and play some of those roles other people don't want to. But when I was playing with these other people, I was able to play the characters that I'm best with, mainly D.Va and Zenyatta. And I'd kind of given up on D.Va after she got nerfed, but came back to play her and found that with a decent team and a good support, she actually is still pretty viable and pretty powerful. So I decided to just go into Season 5 with a bit more of an open attitude, and I played pretty good. I went 5-5 in placements, which was not great. A couple of matches were just really, really awful. Just really bad teammates. I had one match where I did actually have a Blizzard server disconnect right in the middle, and the one match I decided to play Mercy and heal. Other than that, I played all D.Va, Winston, and a little bit of Reinhardt. And actually, the one game I played as Winston was one of the best games I've ever played in my life. I switched to him on Nepal and had just an amazing game with him. I got a 6 environment kill, team kill on the little pit area on Nepal, so it was pretty cool. But I had a lot of fun, and even though I was solo queuing in placements, it really wasn't that bad. It went fairly well for me. And I got a card in every match, and actually got play of the game, I think, in 5 of the 10 matches, so it did pretty well. Like I said, though, I only went 5-5, but I did place at 2017. So I got back up into gold. I'm getting to start the season in gold, which is good news for me. I'm hoping I can make a run at platinum this season, especially now that I'll have people to play with, which I'm really looking forward to. But I've been reading a lot of stuff on the forums lately where people are going into their placements and they're doing very, very well, but then they're placing 200 to 300 SR below what they think they should be, or below what their season-ending score was for last season. And I think there's a lot of things that play into that. Now, Blizzard has gone on record actually as saying they like to start you a little lower than they think you should be, because they say it's more fun if you're able to climb. I don't buy that at all. I think that's kind of a stupid attitude for them to have. I think if you're showing improvement and you've improved in the game, I think you should be able to start out much higher than you were before. What's the point in trying to improve otherwise? You know, that's kind of the thing. But that's why I was kind of shocked that I actually placed much higher, about 150 points higher than I finished Season 4 at. So it was pretty fun for me, and it was okay. I don't know if it's working that way, but I started to think about it, and I've read some comments in other places that say that basically your MMR takes into account your quick play statistics and your quick play. Pretty much any time you're playing Overwatch, it's trying to measure your MMR. I think certain games are kind of immune from that. I don't think the arcade stuff counts towards that, or any of the special events, but anytime you're playing like in the competitive setting, almost like if you're in the quick play, even, it will go ahead and count that towards your MMR. And that would explain the reason I was able to jump up, because I played probably over 100 games between the end of Season 4 and start of Season 5, and I won probably 60% of those games playing with the Platinum people in my group, and I was playing against higher level players. There were a couple Masters in some of our games, a lot of Diamonds, and even mostly mid-Platinum players. So it was a good experience for me, and I was winning a lot of those games, performing very well in those games. So I think that raised my hidden MMR to the point where I did well enough in placements that it actually bumped me up a few hundred SR instead of dropping me down. However, I seem to be in the minority this season, as a lot of people are just complaining up and down about how they've been really slighted by the system and it hasn't worked out. And I think at some point Blizzard is going to have to come out and actually tell us how this MMR system works. I was starting to question it the other night because I wasn't having a great game, but I wonder how they calculate it, because there was actually a point where Afara, she unleashed her ultimate on the point, and I blocked the entire thing with D.Va, and it says, well, you got like 100 plus 100 for blocking. I have no idea how that even equates into the MMR system. That doesn't even appear as a main stat for some of the tanks. Most of the statistics you can get medals for, and the things people focus on are damage and objective kills and objective time and things like that. But let's say if you're playing a Reinhardt, you might not be getting a lot of kills, but if you're blocking like 40,000 damage in a match or something crazy like that, then you should, you can get an in-game card for that. But it doesn't really appear that has a huge major effect on any of your hidden MMR or any of your major statistics. D.Va's the same way. You can block 15, 20,000 damage with her, and it's like, where do you really see that come into play within how your skills are measured? So I really wish they would at least shed some light on that. And a lot of people are worried, like, oh, if we know how the system works, people will exploit it. Well, that's not really the case, because you still have to win the game. Even though if you know what statistics might help your MMR, you can focus on them a little bit more and improve in those areas. But for the most part, you still have to play to win, because winning and losing seems to have the most effect on it versus other things. Now, I do really think they need to make some improvements to competitive. It's the 5th season now, and competitive has largely been very stagnant with how they've treated things like rewards and just making the game a bit more enjoyable. I really think they need to add in some kind of system where you can unlock cosmetics and things through competitive. Like, they could have some competitive skins that you can unlock through achievements in competitive, not things you have to pay for like they like to do with the loot boxes. I think you could also kind of have a competitive, like a store where you can buy things. You can buy sprays and maybe some custom items and some other things in that store with your competitive points, rather than only being able to buy the golden guns for the 3,000 points. And I've heard they're going to make some changes with how the golden guns are working. It's been rumored those are going to start being available in loot boxes, because Jeff Kaplan, I believe, said he does not want those to be tied to competitive only, because apparently some of the non-competitive players feel left out, that they can't earn the golden guns, which I think is kind of ridiculous, because competitive players do need something to strive for besides the bragging rights of SR. Having the golden gun there is really right now the only reward you can get, which is why I think they need to add in a lot more items that you can unlock through your in-game performance. That would just be, in my mind, a really good idea. But they've got to make some changes, because the formula is getting very stagnant, and I think Overwatch, despite what they're saying You know, Activision is notorious for counting inactive players among their player counts. And they keep talking about all the millions of players who are playing Overwatch. I don't think it's completely accurate that there's 25 million people playing this game right now. There might be 25 million Battle.net accounts, but there's definitely not 25 million people playing this game. When it shows my rank on some of the Overwatch stat sites, and I'm in the top 100,000, but I'm still only like in the 50th percentile. You know, there's only like maybe 200, 300,000 active players playing this game. And judging by the way the Reddit and the forums go, and also some of the major YouTubers with Overwatch right now, it seems that the game is losing a lot of its competitive luster. A lot of people are leaving the game, the competitive scene. They're not playing the major team events anymore. The Overwatch League hasn't been able to get off the ground, really. And the game just it really needs a shot in the arm with competitive. I mean, Overwatch can be one of the most enjoyable games and also one of the most frustrating games that you will ever play. If you have a couple people to play with, it's really, really enjoyable. If you're trying to solo queue, it can be really, really frustrating. And that's one thing I'd also like to see them address, is maybe adding in a separate MMR SR system for solo queue based more heavily on your individual performance. I think it should still be possible to gain SR even if you lose the match. And I think you should actually be able to lose SR even if your team wins and you play absolutely terrible. If you're a potato that match and you don't do anything at all, then you don't deserve to get any SR. So I think they need to change the way it works. Instead of making it all dependent on you know, just wins and losses for the most part, have your personal performance play more of a role into it, so that if you do lose a match, it's still possible you can gain a little bit of SR ranking. That would make, especially solo queue, a lot less frustrating. But really, that's about it, guys. Kind of rambled on long enough about this, but I really hope they do make some changes to Overwatch competitive soon to make it feel less stagnant and a little bit less frustrating. So let me know if you guys are still playing Overwatch, if you guys are going to play competitive in Season 5. I've actually been having a lot of fun with the game the last couple of nights, since I do have quite a few people to play with now. It's been very enjoyable getting to play within that 6 stack. When you actually have teammates you can rely on, and teammates that communicate and play a good comp together and combo ults and everything, it's amazing how much fun this game can be. Even in the losses have been very competitive and very enjoyable, as it's usually a big team fight all the way down to the last second. So it's really fun. It's been a very enjoyable experience the last couple of evenings playing Overwatch. But that's pretty much going to do it for this, guys. For this video, guys. I'm going to go ahead and let this play through the end so you can see the end of the match and my final season placements and everything. And hopefully you guys are having a great evening. Thank you guys as always for watching, and again, thank you for getting me over the 2,000 sub mark. I recently hit that a couple weeks ago, so pretty cool stuff there. And I'm going to hopefully be putting content out at a more regular basis now, trying to get some things in my life a little bit more in order so we can make more videos more often. So anyways, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you again next time.
To see justice is its own reward.